Hi, I'm Elizabeth Talbot with the Talbot Law Group in Walnut Creek, California. And in this video series, we're looking at how superstar Michael Jackson's estate is similar to our own clients' estates and trusts that we handle every day. So in the first video, we went over how Michael Jackson actually had a trust, and what's being probated is our assets outside of the trust. And then ostensibly they'll use the pour over will to pour those assets into the trust. Super common situation. Okay, what is the next similarity in Michael Jackson's estate? That would be the beginning of his probate. How did his probate start? So the beginning of his probate, his mom filed a petition for probate, basically saying, look, I don't know what his assets are, but they need to go through probate because, we need access to his money. Our whole family's being supported by him, and we need to get this thing started. Then a few days later, John Bronca and John McClain, oh gosh, I hope I'm getting that right, Bronca and McClain basically, and I think one other person brought forward a will. And they said, no, we have Michael Jackson's will and we need to probate the will because we're the named executors in his will. And it was a pour over will to his family trust. So they entered that into court. And basically, in the beginning, Catherine and the executors, the proposed executors, got into a bit of a spat of who was going to be the administrator over the estate. Now, eventually, Catherine ended up sort of accepting that they were going to be the administrators or the executors, but that is a really common thing that we see in California, in our matters all the time, is the issue of who's going to be in charge of the estate, and does the other person and do the beneficiaries trust that person who's going to be the administrator? So again, similarities between Michael Jackson and regular everyday California estates, the fight over who is going to be the administrator. Now, I will make one more point, that if there is a will and it's admitted as a valid will to the court and it names executors, those executors have priority to be in charge of the estate. So it's a bit hard to argue with that, in front of the court. Another issue might be if they argue that it's a valid will. But in this case, Catherine Jackson's mother, Michael Jackson's mother, sought to benefit from the trust. So she did not want to argue with that will. There are many other arguments that come up, but she specifically stated she did not want to argue with that will because she does not want to be disinherited, and there was no contest clause.